Welcome, Flip Clock fans. I've been away from Flip Clocks for a time due to our recent vacation. 2 weeks in Florida, primarily in and around Siesta Key, Florida. Siesta Key, a barrier reef island in the Gulf of Mexico, boasts one of the world's best beaches, featuring beautiful white sands. Siesta Key is part of Sarasota, Florida, which to vacationers seems to foster a feeling of romance. This is the massive statue Unconditional Surrender near the Bayfront Park in downtown Sarasota. And here's a random romantic couple with a man playing a guitar serenading the sunset. When on vacation, I will always bring one or two flip clocks. I brought a Solaria Udine Cifra 3 for the living area, but also this year, I chose what I think is the perfect flip clock for Siesta Key. I'll show you this in a minute. My wife is in charge of our accommodations during our vacations, and this year we stayed in a condominium right on the south end of the expansive Siesta Key beach. Our condo faced the Gary and Elizabeth Kompothecras mansion at the south end of Siesta Key Beach, located at 6910 Point of Rocks Road, Sarasota. It's a 13,562 square foot home completed in 2010 and noted to be one of Sarasota's top 10 most expensive homes at around $18 million. But is most famous as being featured in the MTV reality show Siesta Key, which ran for 5 seasons from 2017 to 2023. Gary Kompothecras pitched the idea of his home being a setting, or at least a home base of the show, and as the executive producer, had his son Alex in a featured position in the show. Unfortunately, Alex's stay on the show was plagued from the beginning. First, the premiere party was canceled after death threats were made against the cast. This supposedly happened due to Alex Kompothecras being associated with a group of men filmed dragging a shark to death behind their boat. Following this, Alex was filmed shooting a hammerhead shark with a handgun. Finally, in 2020, social media posts were discovered which painted Alex as a bad person who many felt deserved to be canceled, which he was. MTV cut ties with Alex and he was scrubbed from the 3rd season. Regardless, we celebrated our wedding anniversary here, and from Siesta Key to Bayfront Park, Anna Marie Island, Lido Key, Longboat Key, and Minnesota Key Beach, we watched the sun go down over the Gulf of Mexico every night of the vacation. So what flip clock goes good with a Florida trip? We took the Caslon Mini-Mod in hot orange. The Copal Caslon Mini-Mod clock-only flip clock was heavily advertised in newspapers in 1973. It seems to have only been released in the colors frosty white and hot orange. What was going on in '73 when this clock came out? 1973, the horror movie The Exorcist is released. U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War ends with the signing of the Paris Peace Accords. George Foreman becomes boxing's world heavyweight champion, defeating Joe Frazier by technical knockout in the 2nd round at Kingston, Jamaica. The first handheld cellular phone call is made by Martin Cooper in New York City. Skylab, the United States' first space station, is launched. Watergate scandal. Televised hearings begin in the United States Senate. The animated Thanksgiving special, A Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, premieres on CBS. The Ideal Toy Company debuts the Evel Knievel stunt cycle, which would go on to become one of the best-selling toys of Christmas 1973. The Caslon Mini-Mod is a clock-only flip clock, meaning no alarm or radio, and one of the smallest vintage flip clocks. It has what can be described as a quirky font for the numbers. The disassembly is performed by removing the base, then the back piece by prying slightly. Just a nice little Copal mechanism, now just over 50 years old. The hot orange version seems a perfect theme for our vacation. It was my duty to get us to a beach every evening to see the sun go down, with orange being a primary color of the event. The Copal Caslon Mini-Mod in orange, a perfect Florida flip clock. A bit quirky, but beautiful. Thanks for taking the time.